Hello Rise of Kingdoms fans and welcome to a new simulations episode. Today I'm going to show you the new simulator format and we're going to simulate the combat differences between Home Kingdom, KvK and Osiris, both League and Arc. But let's start with the new simulator. You know, when I launched this channel a couple of weeks ago, I said I will share with you here the results of the simulator I created, so you won't have to spend your in-game resources on things you're not sure about. That remains the main purpose here. Then I also thought, why not make it entertaining as well? Most of you will come here for the results, but why not have a fun experience too? So I designed a new visual interface that I hope you'll be looking forward to see every time I publish a new simulation video. Okay, I'm too excited, can't wait anymore. Let's start the engine and get the simulation running. I'll meet you after the show to explain more. Enjoy! Alright, we're done. Plenty to be excited about, right? If you enjoy this, please hit that like button and drop a comment while I start explaining what you just saw. Okay, so this is the new interface. The simulator is doing in the background the same thing you saw in my previous video with a couple of enhancements. By the way, if you haven't seen that video, I suggest you have a look. You'll understand better how the mechanics of the simulator work. Now, back to explaining the interface. What you see here represented are the two confronting armies. We have an archers rally led by Nebu and Ramses, facing an infantry garrison led by Zenobia and Theodora. Both armies have 200,000 T5 troops. The simulation consists of 300 battles. There's a lot of randomness in the game, so the more rounds I include, the more accurate the final result will be. Now, let's take a look at some of the elements you see on the screen. Nebu and Ramses are equipped with 4 purple pieces of equipment, all special talented or expertised, and 2 legendary pieces. These are the attack, defense, and health stats that they get from their equipment. Zenobia and Theodora have 4 blue pieces and 2 purple ones, and none of these are special talented. Again, these are the attack, defense, and health stats they get. This hourglass here shows you how much of the simulation has already passed. When the virtual sand drains into the bottom half of the hourglass and this number reaches 100%, it means the simulation is over. The main indicator on the screen is this speedometer here, which you saw oscillating quite a lot for dramatization purposes. It indicates the win rate for the army on the left, so that's for Nebu and Ramses in this case. And according to the simulation result, they won 18% of the battles against Zenobia and Theo. This timer shows us the average turns or seconds required for Nebu and Ram to win. So, for example, when they won these 18% of battles, they required an average of 281 seconds to achieve those wins. Similarly, the timer on the right shows the average turns required for Nebu and Ram to lose. And in this case, you can see that when they lost, they usually did so in a shorter time than it took them to win. Finally, the third indicator is the number of troops remaining. The one on the left shows our own remaining troops when we win, we as in Nebu and Ramses, because they're the tested pair in the simulation. While the one on the right shows how many troops the Zenobia army has remaining when she's the one that wins. In this case, 37,000 troops is of course higher than 20,000, which is further indication of Zenobia's superiority in this confrontation. And of course, you can see here the smiley faces. Zenobia and Theo are smiling at least. Poor Nebu and Ram, they're crying. They were beaten hard this time. This latest results section here comes from the battle log, and it's going to show a quick summary of the latest round played. So in total, it will update 300 times, once for each battle. For instance, this battle was won in 230 turns, and Nebu and Ram had over 48,000 troops remaining. In this other battle, the outcome is a loss. It happened in 239 seconds, and Zenobia and Theodora had over 51,000 troops remaining. Now, one thing I didn't mention yet is this all damage bonus here. It's now set to 0% because we're in home kingdom. While I was simulating this battle, I thought, what if it produces different results if I play on KvK map, when both armies have a 40% damage boost, and we also have additional attack from Crystal Tech? Or what happens in Ark of Osiris, where the all damage boost is set to 100%? So, with these home kingdom results in mind, let's switch to KvK mode. What do you think will happen when both armies receive 40% damage bonus? Okay, game mode changed to KvK. I've also added 20% extra attack from Crystal Tech to both armies. Let's start the engine and see. Okay, we're done. Now look who's crying. it's Zenobia and Theodora. Nebu and Ramses are much more successful now. And remember, both armies receive the exact same all damage buff. But the result is completely different. So why does this happen? Why do our archer boys here have suddenly increased their win rate from 18% to 92%? The simple answer is Nebu and Ramses have a lot of skills and talents with a damage factor output. Their DPS, or damage per second, is very high. As a matter of fact, on average they pump out between 15 and 20% more damage factor than Zenobia and Theodora. So when the environment they play in has an all damage bonus, it will help them more than their opponent, even though they get the same buff. Zenobia and Theo have talents and skills that are good in absorbing damage, and they're very successful because they can also punch back very hard, unlike Richard for example. But this KvK buff is making the damage of Nebu and Ram too much to handle. Another consequence of this is we have faster battles. Remember we had over 200 seconds showing on these indicators, now they dropped to 158 and 187. More damage means more troops get burned, so we reach the outcome faster. So in KvK conditions, Zenobia and Theo suddenly look less scary in garrison, at least when they are not sufficiently well equipped. By the way, how many of you guessed that this will happen? Congrats if you knew this. Did you also expect such a big difference in the win rate? Leave a comment to tell us about it. Now, if 40% damage buff has this much of an effect, of course 100% buff from Osiris mode will result in complete victory for the Archer's rally. I won't run the simulation for it, because frankly it's not that exciting to see a close to 100% win rate. Let's just jump to the summary and conclusions instead. I've added here the Osiris test results too, so we can see them all in one place. You'll find here the win rate, the troops left, and turns required indicators, and you can compare them between the three environments. So what have we learned today? First, in a high damage mode like KvK or Osiris, commanders with high damage factor will have an advantage, at least when playing against commanders with less damage per second. More damage also means troops will burn faster, which is more costly and makes battle reach an outcome faster. Third, Nebu and Ramses can beat Zenobia and Theodora if they are better equipped. Or, of course, if they are better enforced. Also, there's an additional conclusion that I draw from this experiment. For future simulations, I will use KvK mode as the standard mode, because usually we don't really see that much fighting in Home Kingdom, and most of us will be more interested to see how things look in KvK or in Ark of Osiris. That's a wrap for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy seeing the new simulator in action as much as I enjoy making it. And look, this is the only channel dedicated to this type of content for Rise of Kingdoms. If you appreciate it, please like and subscribe. See you next time. Cheers!